Hello everybody, this is the SPM Pit Percent TAS by Igrmi. This task will be very exciting because there's never been a Pit Percent task finished before, and this is likely to be way faster than any RTA runs. First off right here, the task started development in November of 2020 and finished this February at the start. So now we can introduce who we are. I'm Zachling99.
I'm JCR. We'll both be commentating this run today. It's going to be a pretty exciting premiere. So, like Zach said, this task was in development for roughly 3 months, just a little more than that. For anyone who doesn't know what a TAS is, TAS stands for Tool Assisted Speedrun. So basically, Igrmi used a program called Dolphin to input exactly just specific inputs, do Rng manipulation. There's a lot that I could be missing in this explanation, but that's all right. So the first thing we'll go ahead and talk about, because there's a lot to talk about, is Igrmi's on the Japanese version. The Japanese version of this game is slightly faster than the English version due to faster text. And currently, right now, we are in the opening cutscene, which is going to be about 2 to 3 minutes long.
It's also worth noting that the Japanese version is the only version on Virtual Console that has the green bridge skip trick. But on, like, a task, it'll only save like 10 to 20 seconds, especially in this category, because you could just play on 1.0 English.
That's true.
So there'll be a few movement tricks that we'll see throughout the run. We might as well start talking about them now. So at the start of the game, right when we gain control, you'll see us jumping at the very start. And what that does is that hits top speed instantly, whereas if you just walk, you build up until top speed.
Yeah, and then just another one to mention is that when we enter when we enter any door in this run, we're going to be entering towards the middle of the door since it's the fastest, but I believe if you turn around right before entering, that animation of Mario flipping back is a little faster, just slightly. There's going to be tons of things that Igrmi has done in this task that you might not notice, or we may not even touch on, but will add up to save, even if it's just a few frames, it'll save a decent amount of time, making this task very, very fast. So, just a couple things to mention about this run is that right now we're premiering the task, but if you stick around after it's over, we will be promoting the actual YouTube video of this task that is on Igrmi's YouTube channel, so stick around for that.
So something to mention is during the pre-pit, we will be getting a few items. The pre-pit takes about 30 minutes of the run, and the pit itself will take an undisclosed amount of time.
Yeah, that's true.
So during the pre-pit, we're going to collect a few items. We're going to get a hot sauce and 2 catch cards. The task actually gets 3 catch cards, but this didn't work out. So because obviously you wouldn't want to redo a task for 1 item drop, unfortunately we do have an extra catch card at the end.
Yep, so right here, we're going to be getting the first Pure Heart. I believe this is one of 2 Pure Hearts that we'll be getting in this run, so for anyone who actually hasn't seen a Pit Percent run before, it's quite different than any percent. It is basically completing Chapter 1 and then going directly into the pit.
So right off the bat here, you'll see first jump to accelerate, and right here, Igrmi will jump and land right off the edge there. That's actually significantly faster, like almost half a second faster than just walking off, because you gain top vertical speed right before the ledge and you fall down much faster. Another thing to note is the text in this game is fastest by mashing 1 and 2. You alternate them every frame, so there's just like a little thing you do on Dolphin, and you can just alternate them every frame really easily.
Yeah, there's tons of tools that were used for this task that are unfortunately not reproducible by a human, so there are a lot of really cool things, just like extremely fast mashing, a couple other things which we'll get to at certain points in this run. But just to go over what Igrmi is doing right here is basically by jumping off the left edge of the Flipside tower, you'll land right next to the Pure Heart pillar. To put the first Pure Heart in, and we can now enter into Chapter 1 after speaking to Merlin right here.
So right here, we actually get a pretty important item. We get the return pipe. We'll use this a couple times throughout the run, just to save backtracking. What it does is it puts you at the top of Flipside Tower from wherever you are in the game, which is very handy.
And with that, we are headed on to Chapter 1. There's going to be quite a few things going on here. So during this first intro cutscene here, we're going to see a few things, I believe, in regards to RNG. I'm just checking the notes real quick, make sure I'm correct. But yeah, there's going to be quite a few RNG manipulation things that Igrmi does. We'll get to them when we get to that point. But yeah, there's also... Oh, you go ahead.
Yes, I could start getting into that now. So this game has a very specific way to manipulate RNG. Mostly when you do RNG manipulation, you'll be delaying text boxes. So if you close text boxes later, you can advance the RNG seed. I believe it updates 1 character per frame, if I recall correctly. So what you'll see here after we get the flip ability is there will be some specific text delaying that we'll do so that we can manipulate 2 catch cards to spawn in 2 enemies. So that'll be all the catch cards we need for the run. Catch cards are very useful in the pit because they can catch enemies that you otherwise wouldn't be able to kill.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be quite a few, I believe like 2 or 3 uses of those all throughout the pit, maybe more. But yeah, right now Igrmi's going through 1-1 and heading to Bestovius' house to get the 3D ability. We'll be getting 2 characters in this run, just Mario and Peach. And most of the time we're going to be using Mario, I believe, for the entire pit. But I haven't seen it, so I can't say that for sure. But Mario is just generally a faster character, and the 3D flip ability is very, very useful at many different points of this run.
So right in the first room there, it was actually common knowledge before that it was faster to get a coin, but then we found out that it turned out to be slower, so we didn't collect any coins there even if we wanted to. And there was some very nice movement there. A lot of small optimizations that just save a little bit of time over RTA. So right there, Igrmi said no to Bestovius. That just saves a few frames in text. So right here, first big difference to RTA runs is we're going to skip both of the items here, or all 3 of the items rather. And this is where the RNG manipulation starts. So he's going to wait on that text box right there. That's just to manipulate RNG, and he's going to do an extra flip here as well. This is just to get the perfect RNG seed for these item drops. So the items are predetermined once you enter the room, and so the catch cards are already in the enemy, so now we just have to kill them.
Nice. So there we go, 2 catch cards, and I believe there's 1 other item that we're going to get. I'm not sure where, but right now, as you can see, Igrmi is sort of just I think he's doing literally like frame perfect jumps all throughout this room. So it's
yeah, so what that is he's moving diagonally, and if you move like a small amount diagonally, it's actually faster than doing all your diagonal movement at once. So right there, he just paused so he can manipulate this block, and he's gonna pause again. You can't manipulate these blocks before the room, so that's just a fun fact. So right here, we got a fast flower, a random fast flower, and we're gonna kill all of these enemies, and fast flowers triple your points, so we're gonna get lots of items, most notably an extra catch card and a fire burst. We don't actually need that 3rd catch card, it's just a routing mistake, but it's fine. It's just a very small time loss.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And right now we're at 94k points, which is very, very good for the fast flower. So yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, so right here, he's going to be jumping against the edge of these blocks just to get a small speed boost forwards. This actually ends up saving like a frame or two, depending on your distance to this ending position. It's pretty crazy.
And there we go. That is 1-1. So we're getting into 1-2, and there's quite a few things to talk about, mainly green bridge skip. So if you want to go ahead and start on that, Zach.
Yeah, so green bridge skip was discovered by Mohawk about a year ago. Almost 2 years ago now. And it was made RTA viable like 8 months ago. But first of all, here there's some crazy diagonal movement again. Basically, when you move diagonally, you want to like press the other direction for like a frame or two so that you just move very slowly. It's quite optimal compared to what we do in RTA.
And,
so right here, ladder jumps.
Ladder jumps are basically, if you fall off a ladder the first frame, you can actually jump like just off the first frame of the ladder. So most TASs will do this consecutively with any ladder that they come into. I believe we'll see it again in 1-4. So it's pretty cool to see that.
So right there, you notice he was jumping up that entire slope. Jumps don't actually make you go faster. You only move diagonally faster when you're in the air. But also, slopes reduce your speed, so you want to jump over slopes as much as possible so that you're in the air. And in the air, you have your max speed. So now is a very good time to go into GBS, Green Bridge Skip. So we're going to skip going underground, getting thorough, going back overground, talking to green, and there's just a lot of things that we're going to skip here. It's going to save about 2 minutes.
Yeah, so this is probably the craziest version of Green Bridge Skip. I believe this is actually like at least the Dark GBS is actually possible RTA, but
yes,
it is pretty difficult. However, with TAS inputs, it's just insane. Honestly, when we get to it, I'll just let you guys watch because it's pretty cool. But we are going to be skipping a lot here.
Yeah, so first here we're going to do shot flip. If you flip on the edge of this room in either the Japanese version or 1.0 English, you can clip right out of bounds like that by flipping again. Now we're jumping over a bunch of houses, and if we move to a very, very precise Z position, we can climb up this plane that exists and jump over the green bridge completely in the dark.
Nice. That was really good.
That is incredibly precise. You have between 157.5 and 157.53 units to climb that seam, and there's absolutely no precise movement in this game, so it's extremely crazy how that's even done in a TAS setting or RTA setting.
Mm-hmm. So I believe right here we're going to be doing the mini point grind. Before that, just to mention, GBS actually saves around 2 minutes. We're completely skipping Thoreau, however we obtain Thoreau after this. So right now, Igrmi just collected a hot sauce due to an RNG drop.
So yeah, right there, I'm guessing on the 1-2 save text, he manipulated that. Another thing to note is that the save text, if you hold down and mash 2, it buffered as not saving, and not saving saves some time. So after he got that hot sauce, right here, we're going to be doing another pretty crazy trick. This is called an enemy double jump. If you're holding an enemy and get 3D damage in the air, you can actually rebounce off that enemy and get a double jump, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is a really fast room to do that in just one flip. Even though, I mean, we already do it pretty fast in RTA runs, it actually saves like a decent amount of seconds there. So this is the O-Chunks fight, and I believe the strat on this fight is going to be stylish. Just stylish in the air.
Yeah, I believe that there's going to be a combination of stylish and not stylish, because we want to, like, we'll just let the fight play.
Yeah, here we go.
It's pretty crazy.
Just, yeah. Yeah, there we go.
There's the fight. In RTA, that takes like 10 seconds longer. So that was a really good fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with TAS, it's pretty, it's much easier to fight, do that fight But actually, on that very last hit, I believe Igrmi the Stylish to be closer to the ground there, which saved just a slight amount of time, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Ice Turbo Skip, would you like to explain it?
Yeah, so Ice Turbo Skip, it's already over. But you know, so Ice Turbo Skip, basically, if you grab an Ice Turbo, get hit by its projectile, it'll basically have a higher position over your head, allowing you to jump on it, and you'll be able to reach the door above. So that was done pretty much flawlessly with TAS.
Yeah, so there's actually something interesting. You might have noticed he delayed shaking in the menu there. You actually don't want to shake instantly, you want to delay it so that you can get him as high as possible to do the jump, because he's floating up and down during that.
Nice. So that is 1-3. Going into 1-4, I believe the main thing here is going to be key early.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get there.
Yeah, so the first thing to talk about, I believe, are optimal doors with pixels.
Yeah, so if you turn around, the pixel goes behind you, so it goes closer to the middle of the door, and that actually saves time because it waits for the pixel to go in the door as well. Mario travels much faster.
Nice. Yeah. That is crazy. But yeah, just, there's gonna be, like, I think I mentioned this earlier, but we've been mentioning a lot of little things that might not save, might not look like they save time, but adding up, especially in a task setting, they do end up saving a lot of time for this task. They add up to a lot of seconds.
Yeah, so right there, a little ladder jump just to save frames.
Nice. So, actually, this room right here is going to have key early. So key early was found in 2019 by myself and Flash. But basically, using a trick called corner clipping, Igrmi can go out of bounds, basically set his position inside of a wall, jump in a set of blocks, and grab a key that's already loaded in. Normally, we would have to hit a blue switch, but thankfully, we can just go out of bounds.
What's interesting is once you're already in the blocks, you can just walk out. There's nothing stopping you. So that saves like 25 seconds, maybe 30, depending on how the TAS is, comparatively. So that saves a lot of time, and it was crazy how it was found, because that was one of the theories we had for such a long time, and it finally being found was awesome.
There's also a really cool trick right there. It can be sometimes done in runs, it's just sometimes a little precise, but by using throw, you can actually grab that key there. I believe we're gonna see, oh yeah, I was hoping to see another ladder jump there. We might see one here. Nice, there we go. So, those are always really fun to see.
I believe you can't ladder jump on the side of that ladder because the wall blocks you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It looks like you should be able to, but there's just not enough space, unfortunately. So right here, kind of normal stuff. We let out the spiky things, we hit the switch, and they're gonna make us a platform to get into the next room.
Yeah, so the rest of this level is pretty much enter the room, complete set puzzle, and then exit the room. So right here, there's a quick puzzle that's... We basically know the order of where to hit these blocks due to common knowledge. So right here, though, we are going to be entering our first boss of the game. I believe it's one of two, but this is going to be the Fractal fight.
Let's take some time to appreciate the stair movement. I know it's gonna be insane.
Oh, that's actually crazy.
Whenever there's one thing that looks like it's an obstacle in a task, it will usually have a very cool way of getting around it without losing any time.
Alright, yeah, so this is Fractal. The main strat for Fractal is just jumping from his tail back onto his head. However, I believe that Igrmi is going to be doing the 3D flip strat. I should be correct on that, yeah. So, but for the first half here, there's actually just a 40-second cutscene that we'll have to sit through. But yeah.
There's a few things to mention here. So, once the fight starts, there's going to be like a 40-second wait, and what Igrmi is going to be doing is he's going to flip so that he can have the 3D bar as low as possible, And once getting on Fractal, he's going to pick up one of the enemies and do an enemy double jump onto the antenna, which is absolutely insane. So stay tuned for that. It's kind of nice how you could set up your 3D bar as you wish during the wait. So in RTA, we actually use the 3D bar to damage boost to get onto Fractal a little faster. So the TAS does lose a little bit of time getting onto Fractal, but it will save back a lot of time from bouncing on the antenna instead of throwing enemies at it.
So I believe Igrmi's walked to the left side of this room to basically Fractal's going to spawn in 3D on the opposite end. However, by walking to this left edge of the room, we can actually have him spawn closer to us.
Yeah, so what happens is once he attacks you a little bit faster, like he charges at you faster, and he also spawns closer if you're further to the left. So you'll see that he'll keep like a distance from the back wall. You might think, oh, you want to go to the back wall, but it's actually slower.
This is beautiful movement.
So right here, we're just going to jump over Fractal and land barely on the edge right there.
Nice.
So right off the bat, we're going to flip and grab an enemy and wait for the 3D bar to run out and perform another enemy double jump onto the antenna. Get 3 hits in. And this is absolutely crazy seeing this in 3D. But he's going to flip back into 2D and jump back on.
Yeah, that's just insane.
And flips back into 3D, picks up the enemy, and does it one more time to end the fight.
Yeah, this camera angle is really good. Nice.
So you might notice we have like 100k points. I'm not sure if we mentioned. We're quite over leveled, so enemies in the pit will die really fast, which will be pretty useful for the TAS.
Alright. So yeah, with that, we have basically completed Chapter 1. We still have a few things to do before entering the pit. But we will get to those here in a minute.
Yes, so right here, you just have to be far enough to the right, and then it will play a timer for the cutscene to play. So during that, you could see he was just messing around. What's pretty crazy about this game is if you alternate left and right in a single frame, it does some crazy stuff.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So right here, there's not really that much to talk about. There's just a lot of text, so kind of just let it play out here.
Mm-hmm. How's everybody enjoying this so far? Actually, so I did ask this in the SPM Discord, but if anyone wants to predict the final times, you can drop it in chat.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
So we'll see who gets the closest. I personally don't know the final time yet, so we'll see.
Let's see that chat spam with all the predictions.
We got a 47, 48, 1 hour, 9 minutes.
9 minutes. This guy really underestimates tassing.
105.
There's some good predictions still. Like, I definitely would agree with some of them. Sub hour for sure. Sub 56. 49 minutes flat. Got lots of varying predictions.
HD with a 4, I think that might be the winner.
That is obviously obviously correct. It's not like we're 24 minutes into the TAS already.
Alright, so we're currently in the Peach cutscene right now. Like we said, there's until we get back to Flipside, there's really not going to be too much going on.
There is one little thing we could talk about here. So there is potential for there to be major time save in a few categories along with this one. If we could get up on this ledge and get this key, we can actually go to the pit like right now. So we get Boomer and go straight to the pit. So if you know what happens with pixel skips, you complete the chapter and you get them. If you were to go beat 2-1, you get Boomer and we could go beat the pit. Something interesting to note is this run doesn't use Boomer because it's too far out of the way, this current route. But in the future, if we do find a way to get up on that ledge and sequence break the Chapter 8, we might use Boomer again in this category. For the task, that is. RTA runs use Boomer still.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've been so used to commentating tournament runs that I just automatically assumed Igrmi was gonna go to Chapter 2, but it honestly makes I don't know why I thought that. It makes way more sense to go without Boomer.
Yeah, so right here, there's nothing really to do to speed up Peach. Being in the Parasol isn't any slower. Peach actually has a slower base movement speed than Mario, so that is probably like one of the main reasons why we don't use her as much.
Yep, so right after this cutscene, Peach is basically going to be teleported to Flipside. And the first thing that we're going to do once we gain control of Mario, once again, we're actually going to go cook the Fire Burst that we got in 1-1. And by doing that, we'll be able to wake up Peach.
A fun fact is this TAS is so optimal that we didn't flip to get the Fire Burst in the first room, which loses like a second and a half. We actually manipulated it with RNG to save like a few frames.
That is actually crazy.
So you could have took the easy way out, but no TASer takes the easy way out. So right here, it's actually fastest to go down the main elevator. Usually it's faster to jump off to the right, but in this exact case, it's a little bit faster to go down this way just because we're right at the elevator. So there's actually a few tricks that this route will not do compared to the normal route. The route in RTA speedruns does this different pit entry strat where you throw Boomer onto the ledge from below to open the pit. This one will actually have to go around, but it ends up being faster, mostly because we don't need Boomer. And we actually won't even be putting the Chapter 2 heart in the pillar. We're gonna completely skip that.
Wow. Alright, yeah, so first thing we're going to be going to do is to cook a Fire Burst. And I believe there's going to be a pretty cool out of bounds clip coming up before we enter the pit, so we'll talk about that when we get there.
So right there, the mini little elevators, you can skip their cutscenes by pressing 1 or 2. It's just something to note there. And yeah, there's not really too much to talk about. There'll probably be a really cool menu over here, because task menuing. I love the sound of the task menuing.
Yeah, it's so satisfying. There's a lot of satisfying things in this run. Like, after running this game for however many years we've been running it, it's crazy to see this type of movement.
So right there, the text for Saffron there, you don't have to close it instantly. I'm not sure if that was used for some crazy RNG manipulation. I'm guessing it was just, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you close the text instantly or not.
Oh.
Alright, so before we get to the pit, there are quite a few things. Well, actually, once we get to the pit, there's going to be a lot of things to talk about, so I guess I'll go ahead and start talking about everything that is a random factor in regards to the pit. So the things that are random are enemy locations, the door locations, the specific enemy that holds the key, as well as, well, there are some enemy locations actually that are consistent, but basically any random thing in the pit is going to be manipulated, or has already been manipulated by using text, or some other tactic.
So we'll definitely get more into that later, but basically the idea is it's a 100-room dungeon where you kill enemies to get the key. In RTA speedruns, you have to like just kill as many enemies as you can until you get the key. The TAS, however, will manipulate where the door is, where you spawn, where the enemy is, where the key is. So everything will be under control of the TAS.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy.
So we'll get into how the RNG is actually manipulated once we get into the pit. So right here, we got Peach. I don't think we're ever using Peach again in the task, but I'd be surprised to see it. So right there, we only did that just to get this old key here. If you could skip this, this category would be like 20 to 23 minutes faster for a task, which is absolutely insane. So if you like looking for big time saves, that's what you need to do. Also, quickly, gonna mention how insane that diagonal movement was.
Yeah.
It must have took so long to do some of these movements. So right here...
Oh, yeah,
you got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So right there, Igrmi basically clipped into a set of blocks to go down that pipe. That was actually the normal room where we would flip and put the pure heart in the pillar for Chapter 2. However, we're completely skipping that. Instead, we're going to be going straight to the pit. And right here in this room, Igrmi is going to do a clip out of bounds without an item, rather just by jumping on this enemy.
Yeah, I'll get into it quickly. So he's gonna bonk his head into the ceiling and bring out the item menu. And if you switch characters on the same frame that you're standing when you glitch into the ceiling, you can clip out of bounds by doing what we call a slim slide, but it's more like a pixel switch slide. Or character switch slide. And there we are, we're in the pit. So in the first room here, there's 4 squiglets, but we're only gonna kill one, and the door is like right there. So, again, right here, room 2, we kill the enemy and go right into the door. So, basically, every time he goes to these doors and opens them, he delays putting in the key to set the right RNG for door patterns and everything. So, we need to mention how each room has 5 to 20 predefined pairs of exit and entrance doors. So, we won't get as crazy doors as you saw in the first few rooms all the time. Okay, so now it's pretty much just manipulate the door to be as close as possible and kill the enemy as soon as possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, so as Zach said, there's certain predefined parts of the room where the door can spawn at, but Igrmi is doing little RNG manipulations, even if it means like waiting a few frames to grab a key or putting in a key. There's little things that you'll notice that are complete RNG manipulation for the next room.
So something interesting to note is that these rooms are completely consistent, the layouts. As I explained earlier, the door patterns, the enemies, all that is random. So this is crazy RNG manipulation going on here.
Yep.
And that's the first 10 rooms in like 1 minute? Maybe not even.
Barely a little more than a minute. And that was, oh my god.
Oh my
He just killed, okay, so he grabbed that enemy with throw, jumped up, and then got the enemy from above to kill that Koopa and grab the key. That's insane. Oh my god.
We'll be seeing that a lot more later.
Yeah, there's tons of crazy things, but I'm just honestly reacting to this, so...
Yeah, when enemies are too strong to kill with Mario, we'll likely resort to throwing enemies at them sometimes if you can't jump on them, for example, and kill them. Like, a Koopa, for example, you can't actually kill a Koopa with just Mario. So, this room, we get introduced to boomboxers. They're sometimes annoying, but obviously we're a TAS, we don't need to deal with them.
No, we're basically gonna be getting first keys. So
any room where an enemy is unkillable with Mario, there will be some interesting things. For example, this room. You can only kill Koopas with other Koopas. Was that a double jump off the key?
I think it was. He was literally in midair. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding.
So, something to note quickly is Buzzy Beetles are different than Koopa Shells. They actually stay loaded when off-screen. Koopa Shells, they unload.
This is just so crazy. We're already at room 20. Here we go.
Alright, so room 21 has Spanias, so I'm predicting an item, or not Spanias,
Catch card.
Spinies, yeah.
There we go.
Item usage here. So there's no way to kill a Spiny without an item here. So that's just what we have to do. Here, we'll see Boos and Goombas. We'll probably kill the Goomba, because the Boos are obviously a bit harder to kill.
So I believe this next room is 23.
23, yeah.
We're gonna kill this Churble. and then barely enter the door right before that fuzzy. Oh, that's crazy.
So right here, boinglings, broinglings, they're really quick enemies to kill. So this room in particular, we're going to use a hot sauce that we got from 1-3. There's no better way to kill this enemy, so pretty interesting.
That's really nice. So, as you can see, the RNG manipulations from earlier coming into play. We actually have one extra catch card that we won't even use.
So, there was crazy daisies in that room, and we didn't even see them.
This run's amazing.
Yeah, so you might notice not all the doors are right next to each other. Sometimes they're distanced a little bit. Something to note is there will be a level up soon once he kills enough enemies. You level up 10k, 20k, 40k, 60k, 90k, and 120k, and it alternates between leveling up attack and HP. We obviously don't need HP in this. Also, I want to mention how insane that room luck was, because that room can vary so much.
Yeah, that's a room that you can easily get bad RNG in, but that was just done flawlessly. That's really nice. Another thing to mention, there's a timer in the top right corner for each room that basically counts down to 5 minutes. However, I don't think the timer has gotten below 4:58 at all, so we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, it will most likely change. So this room has quite aggressive layouts. Like, some parts are like locked in this room, but thankfully, obviously we can manipulate the RNG. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about right now.
Yeah, we normally
a lot at the same time.
Normally for like pit percent runs, like tournament runs, we'll be describing what's in each room. But usually you'll just see the enemy and it's gone, and then we have the key.
Dead. So ninjas, there's a 50% chance that they actually die, but we're TAS, so...
So now it's a 100% chance.
This room has a spike top. Oh my goodness, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, so spike tops can only be killed by throwing enemies at them, but also buzzy beetles are just killable by kicking the shell. So there's a Magic Koopa. In this room we have Tylids and Fire Bros. Fire Bros have high defense when you jump on them, so we definitely don't want to kill them. And we're already at room 41.
Room 40. This is crazy. Oh, real quick, we're actually not even going to be using Flim at all in this run. Well, not like we need to anyways, but yeah, we already have all the items we need.
So, Pokies are interesting. I believe we'll just kill the other enemy. That's the easier alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. So, Koopa Strikers. This room is probably one of the most interesting rooms, I guess. Let's see here.
Okay. Okay.
Nice. So, you can't kill Koopa Strikers easily, so you have to do something like that.
Nice. So there were actually Cursias in that room. I don't believe we're going to be killing any Cursias because we don't have Boomer, and it would be pretty bad to get cursed to the pit, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Flip Paracoopas, you can't kill them as easily. Basically, if there's an easier enemy, we're going to kill the easiest one. So right here, all these enemies are like the same. Trying to just kill whatever one's most convenient. This room is quite interesting. There's lots of like higher leveled enemies, but I'm guessing it'd just be really easy because it's a task.
That's true.
So right there, we leveled up. That is an attack level up.
Yes, that's going to be somewhat useful as we go on. And we're halfway through the pit, so...
This feels so fast. In an actual run, we'd still be in, like, the 20s. So right here, I'm interested to see if we do, like, a level up. No. Okay. So this room, the door, we already know where the door is going to be, most likely. It's most likely, yep, it spawns in the top left with the pig. That is incredibly rare. I've only seen that happen in runs, like, a couple times, where you spawn in the door area with the pig kill. So this room, we can't kill dry bones, so we'll likely be killing a Clubba by using a low ceiling, and
Nice.
the
That was
death
really good.
animation sounds very hilarious.
So these this next room here has 3 hooligans in it. I believe we're just gonna be. Oh, maybe not. Oh, the door's up there. I didn't see that. There we go.
It's so hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
So, Tech Cursia, we can't kill it easily unless we threw an enemy at it, obviously killing the Dark Blues because it's faster. So yeah, basically, this is all 458 rooms. Have we seen a 457 yet?
There was actually a 456 in the Dark Boot room, so that
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I think that's the lowest.
So, here's the Amazy Daisy room. We kind of use the Amazy Daisy to
This is a
boost.
nice frame walk as well.
So right here, Squigs and Magiblots, we're obviously gonna kill the Squig. Maybe we could see a Magiblot. He came up, but had no fight.
Alright, we're in room 60, so we got 40 more rooms to go. So we're...
By the way, RTA has not entered the pit yet.
Yeah.
Or maybe just entered. So, this room, 4 Dull Bones, 4 Dark Boos. And we're obviously killing the Dark Boos because we have to throw something at the Dull Bones. Boomerang Bros and Clubbas, we're probably gonna kill the Clubbas.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. And a little RNG manipulation with that key clearly didn't close the text instantly, so...
Yeah.
Gold Tyloids, they're really annoying. They move really fast. Oh!
That's actually a nice damage boost on it.
That was really good. I'm surprised he hasn't done as much damage boosts as I'd expect, but I can see why, because it depends on where enemies are. So Skellabits and Ninjos probably kill the Ninjos, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, because Skellabits are a little harder to kill because they have a high defense on the top of them. So here's Long Airs and Longodiles. These are very tedious enemies to kill. So yeah, this could be one of the longest rooms so far. 455? No, 456. Okay. Let's make it a challenge to find the longest room.
The longest room. So far it's a 456, so we'll see.
Yeah. So here are 7 Super Strikers. They're like the silver versions of the Koopa Strikers.
Oh my god.
Oh my. So they instantly die whenever they like come into contact with shells, pretty much. So you kind of can manipulate that. That was crazy. Right here, doors at the top. 2 Jawbists. These enemies have a long death animation, so I wouldn't be surprised if he threw one at one. Yes!
Yep,
let's go.
nice. Nice.
So if you, like, kill an enemy last by, like, throwing an enemy at it, the key spawns instantly. If you do it with a jump... Oh, here's a catch card!
Oh, yeah. So this...
So if you kill... Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, yeah. So this room has all Cursias, so... it's, you know, I don't think you were able to kill a Cursia without using an item here, so...
Yeah, so if you kill an enemy by throwing an enemy at it, you might see that more common than you think you should. The key spawns faster if you threw an enemy at it rather than jumping on it to kill it. There's like a 1-second spawn animation you can see here. Like an animation for the enemy to die. Also, insane Rough Puffs room.
Yeah, that was really good. So, once again, I know we mentioned this, but I've definitely been noticing where Igrmi is specifically waiting to clear out the key text thing, just so they can, Igrmi can enter the room on the exact frame for good RNG for the next room.
Yes, so right here, 1 Bloamoeba and 1 Chromoeba. This room usually takes longer than most. Okay, so he picked up the enemy so it wouldn't go above to kill it faster. That was pretty cool. Normally, you have to go around. Okay, so spiked enemies we can't kill, so we kill the non-spiked enemies. We're already at room 80. This is insane.
Yep, we got 20 more to go here. So this next room.
So what do you think?
Oh yeah.
Algorithms or Tyloids?
I'm gonna say yeah. It's
interesting.
Yeah.
I expected the Tyloids, to be honest.
I guess that was just good spawn.
Yeah. Squinkers and red Magiblots, obviously killing the Squinkers. Way faster to kill. Pink Fuzzies and Cherbils. This is one of the easier rooms.
Oh, nice.
Nice damage boost.
Yeah. We've seen a bunch of those. So we're in 84, I believe.
So
this
room,
oh, yeah,
Spanias and Schlorps. This is a crazy room. I remember seeing this.
I remember this room specifically took a while for Igrmi to figure out, but
yeah. So you can't kill. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you cannot kill those enemies unless you throw another enemy at them, because we don't have Boomer. So Magic Koopa. Room 86, probably the worst room in the game. Any pit percent runner is feeling really weird right now, because you can complete the room in 1 second. Alright, so what do we have next? This is Ninjons and Ninjos. So
yeah, perfect. Ninja RNG.
This room is going to be interesting. 29 Headblock Goombas.
I think it's going to be like the first one. Yep, right there. Yeah.
I like how you had to kill 2 at once.
Alright.
So, Gobbus, expect enemy throws here. I would not be surprised. Let's see. No? Okay.
That works.
Still pretty crazy.
Ooh. Okay, so we got another 456 there. I think that's going to be it, unless one of these later
Ninjons, Ninjos, and Ninjuris in this room. 3 of the worst enemies in the game. But TAS is obviously TAS.
Gotta love TAS. And then we got another. Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. This is crazy RNG, as expected, but yeah.
Castle in complete pain in the chat.
So right there, a little pulling up the menu to manipulate here. We're gonna use, I believe this is where we get our Ice Storm.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Nice.
The key on the door and the Ice Storm. So this Ice Storm will be used very shortly. It turned out that you couldn't use a catch card to kill an enemy in room 98, so he had to just get an Ice Storm instead. That's why he got an extra catch card by mistake. The single squiggler room, let's see. This is it.
This is the one. This is actually going to be the slowest room, and I think Castle actually called this. Because completely called it.
I'm surprised it wasn't faster. Maybe I don't understand the door spawns. The door spawns are crazy. Anyways, Ice Storm to kill this enemy. As you can see, we have an extra catch card, but it's going to be completely useless. Oh my goodness, sub 50 is so close, it looks like. I'm not exactly sure.
I don't... it's going to be close. So. It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
So, room 99, Magic Blocks. We're just gonna get one by the wall here and do a crazy ceiling-like thing so that we kill it faster. And that is all 100 of the main rooms. Here is Ractail.
So I just want to mention that in total took... I'd have to ask you, Igrmi. I think an estimate would be around like 18, 17 minutes maybe. But that might be a little long itself. But my point is that it took longer to complete Chapter 1 and the pre-chapter than to actually complete the pit itself, so that is definitely the fastest pit any of us have ever seen.
So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, if you were to find getting past that gate, you could save like 25 minutes in this category, and the task would maybe be 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
So... now we can see Mario being invisible.
Mario freaking out currently.
How does Fractal know where to attack us?
I don't know.
Alright, so again, we're gonna do the flip thing so that we could get on top of the antenna faster. So he'll just flip at a very specific time here, just to set it up. So we'll likely see the same kind of jump on the edge thing that we saw last time. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm in shock at that. We had a few like task notes planned out and all that, and I had my my normal notes for like pit tournament runs, but I couldn't even. It was so fast.
So again, an enemy double jump onto the antenna. This time it's 10 hits rather than 3, so it takes quite a bit longer. So you might be wondering why he doesn't switch to Peach here. You actually can get onto the antenna on the first possible frame with both Peach and Mario. However, Mario ends up being faster because you don't have to switch to Peach, so you don't have to do the extra menu. And also, Peach moves slower after. Oh my. Okay.
I don't even know what's going on.
So what's cool is you can flip here as much times as you want, and GG.
GG.
That was a crazy TAS. Awesome work by Igrmi. Barely missing the sub 50, but that is still a crazy time. It's looking to be a sub 51. Wow.
Nice.
So, what do you think about the TAS, everyone?
Yeah, I'm interested to see everyone's thoughts on this. So, yeah, Igrmi's just gonna get Dashel and then head on out of here. But that was actually crazy.
Yeah, so it's not over yet. There is one last final movement to the pipe. You can appreciate the last of the TAS movement. So there's a few things to talk about. This TAS will be available on YouTube right as the run finishes, or a little bit after, depending on how everything works out. So it'll be published on Igrmi's channel. We'll try and link it in chat if we see it on YouTube. And there we go! 50-46 in RTA timing. Or sorry, in TAS timing.
Yeah, RTA.
50-37 in RTA.
Nice.
RTA is faster because of loading the file.
So that's that.
GG's.
I'm gonna set us up for the...
I just love how the pit is closed right now. Like, it's not even opened.
Literally, it's crazy. Actually crazy.
So yeah, that was awesome work by Igrmi. So there's a few things to mention. One, this will be on Igrmi's YouTube channel to watch. If you want to watch the full TAS with no commentary. And I believe there will also be commentary of it on Nico Nico. Igrmi will mention that on his Twitter probably.